You should never have come. Nchinya's voice boomed like a thousand voices speaking in unison. It was deep and hallowed, carrying the weight of centuries. Now you will witness the end. Ezine stepped forward, her heart pounding, but her voice steady. We will stop you, Nchinya. This is not your time. We will seal you away again. The shadow form of Nchinya twisted and stretched towards them. The very earth beneath their feet began to suck them in, pulling them closer to the dark abyss. The shadow seems to reach out with hands made of darkness, trying to wrap around them, to pull them into the void. Chika leaped forward, swinging his spear at the dark tendrils, but it passed through the shadow as though it were air. Obinna swung his machete, but the blade sank into the darkness and disappeared. We need a heartstone, Ezine shouted. It is the only way to stop him. As if on cue, the heartstone in Ezine's hand began to glow brighter, its light piercing through the darkness. Nchiya screeched the sound like metal scraping against stone. He recoiled, the shadows withering in agony. You think this will stop me? Nchiya hissed. The heartstone is nothing compared to the power of the shadows. The air around them thickened, and the shadows began to consume the light, wrapping it up in tendrils of darkness. Ezine's grip on the heartstone tightened. She could feel its power, but it was weakening. Nchinya was too strong. We need more power, Ezine said, her voice shaking. She glanced around, but there was no other source of strength. We need more power, Ezine said, her voice shaking. She glanced around, but there was no other source of strength. Dibia Uku's voice echoed in her mind, a soft whisper. Remember the balance. The heartstone alone is not enough. You must unite the forces of the earth, the air, the fire, and the water. Only then will you have the strength to fight Nchinya. Earth, air, fire and water, Ezine repeated, her heart racing. The elements will need to call upon them. She raised the heartstone high above her head. As she did, a mighty wind whipped through the forest, rustling like leaves and shaking the branches. Chika and Obinia looked at her in awe. Spirits of the earth, Ezine cried. Spirits of the air, spirits of the fire, spirits of the water, I call upon you. Unite with the heartstone and grant us the power to banish this evil. The wind howled, and the ground beneath their feet rumbled. The trees around them shook, and the air grew heavy with energy. A bright light erupted from the heartstone, and the forces of nature answered her call. Fire burst from the earth, flames dancing around them. Water poured from the sky, turning the clearing into a pool. The wind roared, swirling around them, lifting them off the ground. The earth trembled, and the very roots of the trees rose from the ground. Nchiya screeched in rage, the shadows around him fighting back against the forces of nature. The spirits of wars formed flickered, its shape growing unstable as it struggled against the power of the heartstone and the elements. This is not the end, mortals, Nchiya screamed. I will return. With one final cry, the shadow figure of Nchiya shattered, and the forest was filled with a blinding light. When the light faded, the forest was still, the trees were calm, and the air was peaceful once again. Ezine stood, breathing heavily, The hearthstone was dim, its power spent. Chika and Obinia lowered their weapons, staring in awe at the now silent clearing. The battle had been won, but the war was far from over. The villagers of Umodu gathered to welcome them back, their faces full of hope. But Ezine knew that the true danger had not been completely defeated. The shadow had only been pushed back. Its cause could remain, waiting for the right moment to strike again. After the battle with Nchinya, the air in Mwodu felt heavy with a new kind of peace. The golden tree, once a symbol of the village's curse, now stood silent and still. The villagers went about their daily lives, but Ezine, Chika and Obinia knew better. They had not truly vanished the darkness, they had only delayed it. Ezine could still feel the weight of the hearthstone in her hand, its power waning. She had been to the forest, faced the spirits of war, and battled the shadow. But deep down, she knew that the true test was still to come. Nchiya, though weakened, was not truly gone. The cause was deeply rooted, and until the source was destroyed, the land would remain in danger. Dibia Uku visited her that evening, his face drawn with concern. He had meditated for hours, and the truth had come to him. There was only one way to ensure that the curse would not return. The final seal must be placed at the heart of the golden tree, Dibia Uku said, his voice low. The tree is the source of curse. It must be sealed forever. Only then will the land be free from its power. Ezine nodded, though a part of her hesitated. The tree had always been a part of the village, its roots intertwined with the land and the people. Destroying it would come at a great cost, but she knew it was the only way to protect the people. Chika was by her side, as always. I will help you, Ezine, he said firmly. Whatever the cost, we face it together. Obina too stood tall. The village will be safe once this curse is broken. We will see it through. The next morning, they gathered near the base of the golden tree, where its root ran deep into the earth. The tree, despite its beauty, was still ominous in the silence. Its golden leaves glimmered faintly in the light, but there was an unnatural stillness about it. Dibia Oku performed the ancient rites, involving the spirits of the earth and the elements to lend them their strength. The wind howled through the branches of the trees, and the ground trembled beneath their feet. Ezine stepped forward, holding the hearthstone high. Its glow had returned, stronger than before, but it was still fragile. This is it, she whispered, the last trial. The village elders stood at a distance, watching with reverence, while the other villagers held their breath. There was a sense of awe in the air, a deep understanding that this was not just a battle for their survival, it was a battle for their very souls. As Ezine placed the hearthstone at the base of the golden tree, a loud crack echoed through the forest. The tree seemed to shudder as if coming to life, its bark beginning to split open. Golden light spilled out from the cracks, illuminating the surroundings. Suddenly, a deep guttural growl came from the tree, a sound unlike anything they had ever heard. It was as though the tree itself was alive, breathing and angry. Nchinya's voice echoed from within the tree, booming like thunder. You think you can banish me so easily? I am eternal. I will return, and when I do, there will be no stopping me. The golden tree trembled violently, its massive trunk twisting and crackling as if trying to break free from the earth. Ezine stood firm, her hands gripping the hearthstone tightly. The light of the hearthstone intensified, glowing brighter with each passing second. The tree's golden leaves began to fall slowly at first, and then faster, swirling around them like a storm. The ground beneath their feet cracked and split open as the roots of the tree seemed to reach out, seeking to pull them into the earth. Ezine shouted, "It's time now!" Chika and Obinia rushed forward, their hearts racing together. They pushed against the tree's roots, trying to prevent them from pulling them in. The air was thick with tension, and the ground was shaking violently beneath them. The light from the hearthstone exploded outward, a brilliant flash that illuminated the entire forest. The golden tree screamed, its branches twisting and cracking as the hearthstone's power began to consume it. And then there was silence. The storm of light and shadows faded. The golden tree was no more. In its place was nothing but a charred stump, its once radiant leaves reduced to ashes. Ezine, Chika, and Obinia stood together, breathing heavily, covered in sweat and dirt. The forest around them was still. The air was clear, and the darkness that had once haunted the land was gone. The village erupted into cheers. The curse had been broken. The shadows had been defeated. Umodu was free. Dibia Uku approached them, his face filled with quiet pride. "You have done what many thought impossible. The curse has been lifted, and Nchinya has been sealed away." Ezine smiled, but the weight of the journey still lingered in her heart. She had faced unimaginable challenges, lost many along the way, and sacrificed more than she could ever explain, but she knew that her village was safe for now. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the village, Ezine stood alone by the stump of the golden tree. The land was peaceful, the winds calm, and the sky clear. The shadows were gone. But Ezine knew that true peace required vigilance. Darkness could always return. The spirit of Nchinya was not truly destroyed. It was only contained. The land could need to remain strong, and the people of Umodu could need to remember the cost of their freedom. Chika and Obina joined her, standing silently by her side. They, too, felt the weight of their journey, but there was also a sense of relief. The village could rebuild. The curse was over. Ezine took a deep breath, feeling the breeze against her skin. She closed her eyes and whispered, "May the land never forget the strength of its people." And with that, the last shadow lifted from Umodu, and the village stood strong, ready to face whatever challenges the future might bring. And with this last recap, we have finally come to the end of this story. I do hope you really enjoyed it. Thank you for following the journey of Ezine and the people of Umodu. I hope you enjoyed the twist and suspense. And please, if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, please turn on your notification bell to subscribe and get notified whenever we upload new fascinating and captivating stories like this. Once again, thank you for staying true to the end of the story. I really appreciate you all. And I'll surely see you in my next one. Bye bye. God bless you.